House prices fell by 0.1% in May, following a 0.4% increase in April, according to figures released this morning by Nationwide, with the average house price sitting at £260,736. That's very, very accurate, isn't it? Right, to explain the accuracy of that and a lot of other things is our economics and business editor, the lovely Liam Halligan. Liam, house prices.
Nice to see you, Dawn and Andrew. Well, you've cited there the month-on-month increases from March to April and then from April to May. But maybe it helps to think more in annual increases, what house prices were according to the Nationwide compared to May 2022, because that's how the figures are normally reported. I've got some numbers here for us to look at. So house prices were down 3.4% during the year to May, according to Nationwide. And they're down 4% since their peak in August 2022. This is the biggest peak-to-trough drop that we've seen since July 2009, since the global financial crisis, that 4% drop. And as you say, the average house price is now £260,736 across the country. And what Nationwide themselves are saying, they're saying that headwinds to the housing market look set to strengthen in the near term. We can expect these to filter through into less demand, lower sales, and indeed weaker prices. So if you are trying to get on the housing ladder, and we know that so many youngsters are working hard in order to try and do that, it may be that this drop in house prices is likely to continue for quite a few months, not least, of course, because interest rates are rising.
I was going to say, and we think the interest rates are going to go up again because although inflation came down not as fast and as hard as we expected.
We are expecting another interest rise, Andrew, on June the 22nd, when the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee makes its next announcement. We're already seeing mortgage rates rising. We expect interest rates at the Bank of England to go from 4.5 maybe to 4.75 to 5, maybe even to 5.5 before they peak. A two-year fix is now 5.38%. A year ago, it was 3.03%. That's a huge difference in terms of the financing costs if you are trying to scrape together money for a deposit to buy a house or a flat.
So it's good news for youngsters trying to get on the housing ladder. But what about for so many years now, people have relied on their houses to be their little pot of gold, their pension fund. What does this mean for them? Well,
it means that their pension fund is worth, 4% less than it was in August. On the other hand, it's still probably worth a hell of a lot more than when they first bought it. And the younger generation wants some of that action. They want to feel that they've got a stake in society. And talking about stakes in society, we're also talking today, aren't we, about Amazon, the retail giant. Amazon have published their accounts. They've said that they paid £781 million in direct taxes last year. That's employer national insurance, business rates and corporation tax. That's up more than £130 million up on last year. Amazon employs 75,000 people now in the UK. That's up from 27,500 in 2018. But there will be controversy about this. Why? Because Rishi Sunak had that super deduction. It means if big companies made investments, they could offset that against their corporation tax bill. Well, Amazon, as we all know, have been investing hugely in new warehouses, new kind of robotic packing schemes, lots of artificial intelligence and so on. Amazon say they invested £12 billion in the UK economy last year. So they've actually ended up, for the second year in a row, we believe, looking at their accounts, paying no corporation tax in the UK whatsoever, with some profits being, in the words of some tax analysts, shunted off to Luxembourg to minimise their UK tax bill.
I was going to ask you to explain that, Liam, because isn't the fact is their tax is done by it's like a dodgy geezer. It goes to Luxembourg, which is one of the biggest tax havens in Europe.
They pay 3.3% tax?
Yeah, on a turnover of over 24 billion.
Right, but we've got to be careful here. Amazon comply with the law. They deny all wrongdoing. They've obviously got very sophisticated accounts. They're a very, very big company employing lots and lots of British people. But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be subject to scrutiny, of course. And there will be scrutiny at the extent to which they are keeping their tax bill as low as they possibly can, given that they're making such hay in the UK. And I think the effectiveness of that super deduction that Rishi Sunak put in, you get 130% tax relief, so you actually get paid to invest when it's offset against your tax bill. I've been talking about this a lot. We've massively increased our rate of corporation tax from 19 to 25%. Small companies that don't have deep pockets and international subsidiaries to invest, they end up just paying it all in tax. They can't do the offset. It's the big guys that benefit when you have a high rate of corporation tax offset against these super deductions.
And channeling a lot of it through Luxembourg, of course, with their clever lawyers.
Some of their revenues will be channeled through Luxembourg. They haven't denied that in the past, but it will stick in the craw, if you like, when tax bills are going up for ordinary people, fiscal drag, and particularly this hike in corporation tax, the impact on small companies. For me, to try and justify a massive increase in corporation tax with an offset for investment, as the Chancellor and the Prime Minister try to do, it belies a lack of understanding about how small firms survive, the importance of cash flow. And it's small firms in this country, as we so often say, that employ 2/3 of our people and generate over half our growth. It's those that we should be championing.
And they've given a tax bung to one of the most successful, wealthiest companies in the world.
Well, they have. They would say that other companies have benefited from that in other sectors, but we do know that the big tech giants really are part of the story.
Masters of the universe.
Part of the story about hollowed-out high streets, not just across the Red Wall, but across the southeast and the most prosperous parts of the country. And that's why I think these figures, while Amazon deny all wrongdoing, will provoke a lot of controversy.